Let's talk about a very common event. You decided to read a book which everybody's been talking about. You know everything about the book and you've heard great things about that book. You try to set everything aside, you pick up that book, you try to read that book. You finish one page, you finish 2 pages, you maybe finish a chapter. And after finishing one page or maybe a chapter, you forget what you have read and you try to reread that again. Suddenly a notification pops on your phone and you scroll Instagram for a bit and you are back to reading a book. This happens again and again, and suddenly you realize you just can't read books. Then you go onto YouTube or maybe read a blog about that book. You find out about the summary of that book, and that's how you think you have read the book and you know whatever was there in the book. If this situation has happened with you, then this video is for you. Hey you beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. For those of you who are new on this channel, hi, my name is Avdut, and on this channel I recommend books. I help you guys to develop a reading habit. In my years of reading, I've read a lot of books, and there have been times where I was not able to focus on what I'm reading. I was not able to just not finish a book, and there are multiple reasons to that. Social media, streaming and technology is not just one reason. Around this, I have developed a lot of systems of how I read books even in today's days. So they say that you need to do a detox, you need to do a dopamine detox, just quit all of your apps, stop indulging in social media and behave like a monk, and that's how you will be able to finish books. For me personally, I think that's not possible because I work in technology. I love to be around technology. I love to scroll social media, so I don't want to abandon all of these things, but at the same time I also want to read great literature. I also want to read great books, immerse myself in the reading journey, immerse myself into the stories. So I always needed to find a way to balance these both things, because in today's times I think that's how it's gonna be going forward. You will have to learn the art of balance. So in this video I'm gonna talk about why you can't read a book these days, how you can tackle some of these challenges, how you can reset your brain and finish books. I'll also share my systems which I have developed to read a lot of books. My systems have propelled me to complete books, and at the same time I'm not uninstalling all of my social media apps. I'm not just behaving like a monk. So this video is going to be very valuable if you have this genuine problem. So make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. Okay, so before we jump on to the solution, before we jump on to the ways by which you can finish books and immerse yourself in books, let's talk about the problem. Let's redefine the problem. Let's actually find out what the problem is. The problem is not social media. The problem is not technology. It's the way we think we are rewarding our brain. Let me explain. The biggest contributor to all of this contribution is the dopamine. So dopamine is a chemical which is released in our brains. It goes to the limbic area of our brain, which is different from the prefrontal cortex of part of the brain, which is supposed to help you think analytically and think about systems. So when this dopamine gives your brain a reward, it craves for it again and again because it is short-lived. So once you start getting rewards in the form of dopamine to your brain actually forms neural pathways for this particular dopamine mechanism. By neural pathways, I mean it's a specific path which is set, which leads to a habit. So think about this. There have been times in your life where you are mindlessly scrolling something. There is no agenda in your mind. You are just scrolling mindlessly, and in most cases you didn't even realize that you wanted to pick up your phone and start scrolling. This basically means that your brain has created a neural pathway and it's expecting a reward through that path. So you directly pick up your phone and start scrolling. These social media apps have been designed in such a way that they make you crave attention for them. The notifications are all red because red is a catchy color. You might want to check out. You see the nature of notifications. The notification always are in an enticing way, like your friend tagged you somewhere, somebody commented somewhere. It forces you to open the app. And also in the app, the way these apps are designed is, once you start scrolling, it's like the slot machine mechanism where you scroll to expect a reward at the end. It's an infinite scroll mechanism because they want you to stay on the app for a longer period of time. This creates a dopamine hook in our brain, and all of this is known as instant gratification. This is not just social media. There are multiple things which give you instant pleasure, like watching a movie, watching a short video, going on YouTube, going on social media, eating a great snack, eating a fruity snack, eating chocolate. All of these things are instant gratifications. There are instant rewards to your brain. Reading, on the other hand, is painful, right? Initially you have to put your mind at ease. You have to get up that energy to read pages. You have to get up to that energy to think about them. So your brain is not exactly expecting a reward in this situation. Your brain doesn't get that instant validation, instant gratification. So you think it's a boring thing to do and your brain does not want to do it. That's why it's not processing information the way it should be. It's not letting you read the book. It's not letting you immerse into the book. That's the fundamental problem. But at the same time, reading books can give you you delayed gratification. Once you put in some effort, once you start reading something, once you cross that initial barrier, your brain starts giving you rewards which are different from the dopamine which I talked about in the instant gratification thing. When you read a book, you are actually forming thoughts in your brain. You are reading thoughts formed by the author. The author is transferring those thoughts into your brain. So you're making your brain exercise, and in the form of exercise, initially it becomes a little tough, but after some time it becomes rewarding to your brain. You feel a sense of beautiful emotion, which is like you have accomplished something, you have thought about something new, shared or exchanged an emotion with the author. So this is how delayed gratification works in books. And just think about this, just think about your life. On a day-to-day basis, delayed versus instant gratification, which type of gratification has a bigger impact in your life? Most people these days are just succumbing to instant gratification. So what happens is delayed gratification doesn't feel as gratifying. Because of this, doing those easy things doesn't feel very rewarding, like taking a walk, cooking a meal, doing your household chores doesn't feel very rewarding because it's a delayed gratification. So how do you actually switch between these two is what I'm going to talk about in this particular video. You don't need to just deplete one for the another, you just need to be aware. The first step is being aware. So I've written this down. Whenever I feel this, I've in fact written this down, that to define the problem, my first problem is I cannot read books because my brain has been trained to want a constant hit of dopamine, which is a digital interruption, which a digital interruption will provide. And the second is, this digital dopamine addiction means I have trouble focusing on books, work, family and friends. So the first thing is to define it. I've defined it now, and now between these works of instant gratification, I'm gonna schedule times in which I myself can suppress myself and practice delayed gratification. What I mean by that is, I try to find out times during the day when I am the most productive, when I feel I'm alive, I feel I'm very energetic and pumped up to do things. During these times, I make sure I don't practice any kind of an instant gratification. I just try to just sit, I just try to take a walk, I just don't do anything. I don't want my brain to get addicted to the form of rewards. And in these times of the day, whenever it can be any time of the day for you, during these times I try to read a book, which is very rewarding because I don't have to put that extra energy and switch my brain from instant to delayed. I just want to make sure that my brain is in a space to absorb information. So that is the first step. Find out energy levels, find out those times during the day when you are more propensive to not doing anything, where you don't want a reward. And the next step is, once you read a book, then you can tell your brain, hey, you've done a good job, you have helped me read a book, now I can practice instant gratification. Now maybe you can scroll on social media, you can post something, read something. Now you can do all of those things without feeling guilty about it. You have to trick your brain into believing that you will get a reward only when you practice delayed gratification. You will get a reward, that is for sure, but it has to be worked out. It doesn't have to be so easy that you just pick up your phone and start scrolling. So this has helped me a lot personally, because that I wanted to delete everything and just continue just reading books and living like a very monkish life. But I know that's not possible for me personally, because there are a lot of things I want to explore as well. So I try to maintain a balance between these two. So whenever somebody tells you delete everything and just focus on your work, focus on delayed gratification, it works, but not always, because we young people have been trained in a certain way with this information indulgence. There's huge information all around us, and the thing that we need to learn the most is balance first of all. Then we can switch the controls between all of these things. First we need to learn balance. We just don't need to delete everything and just completely switch our working. So how has this switching helped me personally? So because of this, I am able to reset my brain. I'm able to do a dopamine detox on a micro level every day. You don't have to do a big reset of deleting everything for a week and then again continuing it, again deleting it. So on a micro level, I practice this detox by just for some hours of the day just not doing anything, reading a book during that time. And why is reading so important? So reading is almost meditative to me now. It's almost equivalent to meditation for me, because the way I indulge myself in those ideas is completely different from how I started reading books. These days I'm looking for stories, I'm looking for ideas, I'm looking into ways by which I can escape myself. I can just it's like reading a book in this particular world, but your heart beats in some other world. I'm in that space right now. Like, reading is meditative to me, and it has given me a lot of meta skills. It has taught me the value of patience. I have become very, very patient as a person. I've become kinder because I've developed empathy because of reading fiction novels, good fiction novels. I have become very patient at waiting for results, because once you are a reader, you understand that you have the capacity to go through the process, and at the end of it, you know that book is going to end. And because you have read a lot of books, you have that confidence that yes, you can finish books, you can go through hardships. And the bonus part is the process itself is enjoyable as well, so it's a win-win. So this is how books have helped me. There are numerous studies which have shared that there are some parts of your brain which are activated in the same way when your physical body is doing that. What I mean by that is, let's say you are running and there's a certain part of your brain which gets activated, and if you are reading a book about a man or a woman running, the same part of your brain gets activated because you put yourself in those shoes. So all of these things have really helped my brain to become calmer, to not indulge as much in the dopamine rush that people these days are having. So I try to control it. There are days where even I am like not reading anything, but I don't feel guilty about it because I know I'm practicing instant gratification. I basically want to train my brain and not the other way. The brain should not train me. I want to train my brain into knowing that this is when you are allowed to relax, this is when you are allowed to work for me. So that way it's a healthy balance between these two things, and I don't have to go on extreme measures as to just delete everything and work upon. So yeah, that's the video I wanted to share. That's the information that I wanted to share. This is how I work. And also one more point, if I left out, before reading any book, I make sure that before reading anything, at least 30 minutes before that, I make sure that I don't look at any screen, I don't scroll my phone, anything. Those 30 minutes, it's just like a mental preparation to read a book. This has worked beautifully for me. I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, but just wanted to reiterate again that 30 minutes before reading a book, just don't touch any kind of a screen and look at the magic happen. So that's all for this video. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about these ideas and how you are trying to reset your brain and read more and more books. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.